So it's 11:15 on, I think, the 21st, whatever day it is. Doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah. I got the bike loaded up and ready to roll. I'm a little bit more full than normal, which seems a little weird, but I bought the tires and tubes for the trailer, but I haven't put them on yet. I figured let me just get out of here, and then wherever I park tonight, I'll do it. So, yeah, I was just really feeling lazy overall yesterday and today, so, yeah. I got a really good charge on the batteries, so we can run fast if we want to, or we can go flying up a couple hills and then we'll be dead again. But anyway, goal is Ashland, Oregon, so we'll at least get out of California today. Yay! I've been in California forever. I need to go back and look when I actually came in, because we did Death Valley, we got a new trailer, we got a new bicycle, we did the Sun Trip. We went from Nevada all the way, pretty much most of the distance through California, except we didn't cover Southern California, so no San Diego, no LA, but everything north of there basically. So California's a big state, and we did see a lot of it. So yeah, like I was saying in the video I uploaded this morning, now I got a lot more time. I'm going to start thinking more about my setup and what I want to do for next year. Little changes I can make, bigger changes. Probably will start exploring the idea of having a tent and a stove, which I haven't had yet, or a shelter of some sort. And we'll start making plans for next year and start trying out ideas that I can use next year. So that should be exciting, or terrifying, mostly terrifying. Anyway, I'm going to check my route really quick and then we'll hit the road. Let's just piss off everybody and park in the middle of the street, right? Perfect. Got the shot. Did you know that these videos are entirely supported by people's donations? It's crazy but true. You could be one of those people. If you'd like to help out, keep my wheels rolling on this mission here, where I'm riding about the countryside trying to remind people that we have about 22 military veterans committing suicide every day, which is a horrible thing to think about. I think that's maybe why people forget. It's just too hard to comprehend. But in the meantime, we've sent our people off into some pretty horrible places, and they come back, and sometimes they just don't fit in with the regular people anymore, so they're having a hard time. So my mission is to remind people that this is still happening. And if we can get some traction on that, maybe we could do something to actually help. But in the meantime, it's just kind of going out there and reminding people and talking to people wherever I can. So the trailer has been really wonderful for that. You know, people see that, they're like, oh, what is this all about, right? So as I'm learning my process here, one of the things I want to do is expand on, like, for instance, signage on the trailer and that kind of thing. When I first started, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this, but if we can keep the money coming in so I can afford to keep riding, we can start putting together some kind of a package and a program. Anyway, my job is to do the riding. If anybody wants to help support the mission, there's PayPal, there's Patreon. On YouTube members, you can do a YouTube membership. You can choose your level of support, or it's each video you can do the little super thanks. So down below the video where the like is, there's also a heart that lets you give me a one-time donation. So if you'd like to do that, that would help me out enormously, because a lot of people are aware of the problem, and a lot of people know people that are veterans that are getting out or have gotten out. And I think the problem is that the average veteran doesn't know how to talk about how they're feeling, how they're doing. You know, we're taught to, suck it up and power through. So that's what I'm doing, and appreciate your support, and thank you. On with the show. Okay, I am parallel to I-5. I actually did drive to the on-ramp, and there was the big do not, bikes prohibited sign. So I'm like, yeah, okay, let me get out of California without causing any incidents here. So it's noon straight up on the 21st. finally, I'm within range of, I'm going to say that's got to be Mount Shasta. It's the only thing with snow around here. And I've seen it off and on since Red Bluff or thereabouts, and never got a good shot of it. It just was always too far away, or power lines, or all that kind of stuff. So there it is. I'm not going to get much closer to it. We're kind of circling around it now. I do have to say, this really fits how I like to travel, in that I can just pull off quickly, not cause a big fuss. If I was dragging a trailer or something like that on a truck, or something big. Also, what I did on the motorcycle a lot is I could just whip off, park, not block traffic, get the shot kind of thing. So I think that's still the Shasta River. Way down there. Super sunny today. It's going to be warm. I'm getting really good solar. I've still got 51 volts. That's like what I left with. Alright, we're just about to go from Highway 263 to Highway 96. That's just right there in the distance. Some pretty serious, rugged looking terrain here. It's kind of cool. Literally 500 feet later, this is now the Klamath River that comes from Klamath Falls. And I think the Shasta was the one we were following, so they merge here. So I was talking to some guys that do river rafting on inflatable boats, and they were saying that the Klamath River is a lot warmer. So I guess they operate more in the Klamath. The little creeks are cold coming into it, but the Klamath, they said, was warmer. I was just thinking when I was talking to them how cold I had been at night, and thinking that the water would be pretty cold. They're like, yeah, it's not too bad. You don't go swimming in it if you're on the raft. Figures I'd find the nicest rest area ever miles before I get out of California. We've got picnic tables in shade and big trees and green grass and plenty of parking. There's EV, electric vehicle parking. It's awesome. We're just about at I-5. I think we're going to get on here. I don't think we have any other choice. So, yay. And cell phone signal. Hey, it won't be visible. I got a picture of it earlier. The sign says pedestrians prohibited. It doesn't say bicycles anymore. So that means it's okay. It's kind of a weird way to look at it, but we are about 5 miles from Oregon now. And a little shadow there is Mount Shasta. Yeah, I never really got a great shot of it. Just that one earlier today, I guess. So yeah, freeways, love them. I'm cruising along 15, 16, 17 miles an hour. Everything's good. And then, of course, got a flat tire. I got a wire go through the rear tire on the bike. So the best tire I have, this one little wire went in. Little tiny, skinny little wire. That's I've gotten a lot of those though. I think they're the steel belts out of radial tires. One of those wires. So you get those every now and then. But I think that's the first flat I've gotten on those tires. So that's pretty good. And I still got the taped together tire on. I'll change it tonight when I get to camp. It's been holding up pretty good though. You can see it's picking up all the gravel though. So we're down to the adhesive of the tape, but I think we're still okay. Anyway, I had to stop, take a whiz, so get a quick landscape shot. That's the thing when you're on the freeway, don't be stopping all the time. Get off. And that's the other thing, if you have an off-ramp, just take it and then come right back on again. Instead of trying to merge with 70-mile-an-hour trucks. That's hard to, you can't see far enough back. and you're not going fast enough to merge. So, and we just came up a hill that's marked 2 miles 4%. I didn't even really notice it. It's just like no big deal. You know, this has been really good. So, yeah. Haven't gotten a whole lot of miles today, but we're making good time. And I still got 50 volts on the battery. Yeah, that's a good day. I think it's about 25 miles to Ashland now. Woohoo! We made it out of California. I'm more excited about being out of California than I am about being in Oregon, but Oregon seems pretty cool. Yeah, woohoo! And yeah, there's still some hills. Can't get out of everything. All right, it's about 4 o'clock. This would be a really good time to stop because it's hot and I'm getting tired. And we achieved our virtual first goal of getting out of California. Done, check, done, not going back until maybe next year. Anyway, I've been pushing the bike pretty hard because I had the power. Usually I'd have to slow down. So I think I overheated the motor, so it's kind of acting flaky. So I'm going to stop for now, for a little while, let it cool down. It was forecast to be in the high 90s today, so that feels about right. Let's see, it was 11 o'clock when I left, so 5 hours of pretty hard pushing. Well, except for I did take a break at that rest area. That was kind of nice. But on the freeway, I was running pretty fast, and I just got off the freeway. This is just the beginnings of old Highway 99. I think this is like exit number 1, so like 1 mile into Oregon. That's all I cared about. I got about 15 miles to Ashland. As it turns out, with all of the money I spent on the spare tires for the trailer and a couple other things, tomorrow I've got money coming in from Google or from the YouTube AdSense money. All the super thanks and membership money and everything gets all lumped together, and the ad revenue. So that comes in tomorrow. Then we'll be set again. So there's a campsite in Ashland I might stay at tomorrow. So I'm kind of looking at, I could wild camp anywhere along here and then roll into Ashland tomorrow, and that would be fine. That would give me time to coordinate with my friend to see if they're available. If not, I will stay at the campsite for probably just that one night and then head out. Yeah. Got really good. This is the thing. Next to the freeway, I have much better cell phone reception than I had anywhere else on the trip. So, right. Also, I would take the time to swap that tire out. That's kind of funny. The tape is grabbing all the gravel, and that tube can't have much time left on it. But, well, okay, I was thinking about that. If I wipe out this tube, it's not that I don't care, it's just I don't think I would be able to use the tube again anyway. Well, no, maybe. It's just going to have extra thickness because I taped or glued 2 other tubes to it, but it still fit inside the tire, so I guess if I don't destroy the tube in the process, I'll reuse it again. Might as well. That one will be just about nail proof. It looks kind of funny. That's the tape, that's not, I guess we can take that off. It's funny, I haven't heard that, but maybe it's just so noisy with the traffic I can't hear it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll put that in my trash bag here. And I'm just gonna let it sit for a few minutes and see if the motor works. It was kind of getting flaky, so I think it's just heat, I'm hoping. Once I get another 600 miles, I think, to my dad's, and then I'll put the new motor back on. We should be good after that. Yay! And I've got more of these at home. All right, break time. And into the distance, Jack on his Massey Ferguson. Okay, here's the backstory. I pull into this little spot. I'm like, okay, it's obviously a road. There's a locked gate. I'll show you the carcasses in a minute. It's got a smell of death here a little bit, but not too much. With the breeze, it's not too bad. Yeah, okay. So I'm like, I got to pull off the road. I'm like, this might be a good place to camp. It's more or less hidden from the road, so I'm not directly on the road, which is right there. I've done worse. And this is old Highway 99. Not very much traffic on it. We are just a few quarter of a mile from the freeway, but with the trees I really don't hear the freeway. All right, so I'm just kind of looking around. I'm like, typically when I'm doing something like this, I'm going to sit still, just park here. I can move if I need to, I think. I'm not sure if the motor is good or bad right now. It kind of made a not a very happy sound. So I knew that was coming. That's why I've got the new motor, and I'm 525 miles according to the GPS software from my dad. And the new parts will be there in about a week. So we just got to make it to there, or whatever it takes, you know. Yeah, anyway, I'm not too worried about that. We'll just deal with that as it happens. So I'm like, okay, so I'm, you know, in the first hour, hey, I'm just taking a break off the road, not a big deal. Okay. Anybody asks me to leave, no problem. You know, I'll go as far as I can or whatever. Once it gets dark, then I start looking at setting up camp, but I don't like to unload the bike right away, just in case. Okay. What I can do though, I might change the tires on the trailer. This would be a good time to do that in the daylight when I'm sitting still. Okay. And I'm off the road. Anyway, so I'm just sitting here looking around, and I hear the putt, putt, putt coming, and I was torn between, oh crap, here comes somebody. And I recognized the sound. We used to have an old Fergie tractor on the farm when I grew up. Not a Massey Ferguson, it was a Ferguson. So we called it Fergie, right? So I look up and here he comes rolling along down the road. So I'm like, okay. So I walk up to the gate, no sense just sitting here like an idiot, you know. So I walk up and say hi, and we get to talking. His name is Jack. And so the first thing I was like, is this private property or whose land am I on? He's like, no, this is BLM, Bureau of Land Management, not the Black Lives Matters, which is another thing. I'm not going to get into that. So whenever I hear BLM, I think Bureau of Land Management, which means the government-owned land that's available for use for people, basically. All right, so I go over and talk to him, and his first thing is like, oh, you know, everything. What we agreed on is everything is turned up to 11 right now. I'm so close to California. California has this huge homeless problem. They're starting to spill over on the border. If somebody starts camping here and then you can't get rid of them, and I'm like, no, I'll be gone in the morning. I'm low impact, and I, you know, tell them a little bit about, you know, where I've been and what I'm doing. I didn't get into the mission at all, just that I'm traveling and I'll be gone by morning. Okay, so now we're good friends, no problem. It's not his property. He just was passing by. But in talking to him, I look over and yeah, he's got a sidearm on him. So it's like, yeah, it's getting rough. So, you know, between possible wildlife and snakes, and then crackheads and meth labs, and, you know, the whole thing. Yeah. So anyway, so let me show you the neighborhood. Oh, I don't think I just said it. I'm kind of spacing right now. So I was parked down on the road and I saw this trail come up. So I thought, okay, before I bring the bike up here, let me walk it first. That looks a little less intimidating if I do happen to walk up on somebody. You know, just if I accidentally walk into somebody's house, it's like, hey, just walking and taking a look. Okay, no problem. You know, so, and if the bike was having trouble, I didn't want to make it drive up the hill if it was having problems. So I come walking up here, and right about there in the bush, I just started smelling something, which I think is the carcass over there. And I look up and here's a deer looking at me from like 15 feet away. We just looked at each other and then it just gone, right? But it only ran about 20 feet and then it stopped and looked around, and I think I forgot what it was running from because I didn't make any noise. I just sat there and looked at it, you know. So yeah, it's just, I wasn't trying to be especially quiet, but just walking, these new shoes are actually pretty quiet. And I just kind of rolled right up on this poor deer and scared the crap out of it. So yeah, if you don't scuff your feet, it's amazing the things you see. So Jack said maybe go up in there. I don't know that I want to drag the bike up there. That seems problematic, so I'm going to just take my chances here. I might go take a look though. It looks nice over there. So while I'm scouting, I was kind of looking at this tree. All right, and then I'm like, oh, hopefully that's not the last guy that camped here. Yeah. And look around a little bit more. Where's the rest of it? Oh, yeah. And then this. They're pretty bleached. That's been here for quite a while. And more back there. And I'm not sure if I'm smelling a kill or bushes, because there's a lot of sage smell also. It's not overpowering and it's not completely disgusting, so I'm like, I'll be okay. I'm at the point in the day where if I can sit still and let the battery charge up, if things work, I can get out of here. It looks like I only have to climb a few hundred feet and then I'm in Ashland. Yeah. Yeah. And then if I go towards, like, ultimately Wenatchee, that's about 500 miles away, that could be 10 days, probably. If I do 50-mile days, that could be 10 days, a little over, not quite 2 weeks, I think would be about the best estimate, assuming things work. Now, if the motor is jacked up, we'll just say that, I'm not sure yet. It was also very hot, so if it cools down, it might still be okay. So, I think, because when we were testing this motor, we hooked it up to a computer and we're dialing it in, it uses the same protocol as the Bafang. Okay, so they kind of went with an industry standard. I have enough tools and a spare cable for the motor if I had to. I think I could rig that motor to work with this controller. It's the same basic theory. This one has more wires, but I don't necessarily need all of them. So there's enough information available on the internet. Now what that would mean is I would have to cut a really nice cable in half, but I think I could do it and replace the cable if that's what it came down to. So that's a possibility. I think what I'm thinking is that my controller should be able to operate the new motor, and we just run it in super low power mode, and it would be good. The guy on the tractor said this is BLM land. We can get into permits later, but I'm not on somebody's private property, so I should be okay there. And if I say, hey, I'll just, the motor was getting hot, I stopped to let it cool down. First hour, I'm fine. After that, if it's getting dark, I'm just going to camp, and I'll just, then I adjust my story that, well, I had to get off the road safely, and here we are. And I can say I was looking to go to Ashland, but I didn't make it. Okay. Yeah. Easy. All right, I think I'm just going to, I do have, looks like I got cell phone coverage here, so I think I'll get those tires swapped out. Maybe I'll get a shot of that when I'm done. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. More coming. I don't know. I think that looks kind of cool.